Picture this incredibly common scene. Your girlfriend or your wife comes home, and you can see it on her face before she even says a word. The weight of the day is hanging on her shoulders. She collapses onto the couch and with a heavy sigh tells you about her absolutely horrible day. Her boss was, in her words, a tyrannical monster who, with a complete lack of respect for her time, piled on more work right at 5 o'clock. Her co-workers were not just unhelpful, but it seemed like they were actively sabotaging her project, leaving her to clean up the mess. The commute home was a masterclass in disaster, a symphony of gridlocked traffic, blaring horns, and a near miss with a cyclist that left her nerves completely frayed and her heart pounding. You listen intently, you nod in all the right places, your brow furrowed with genuine concern. And then you do what seems not just natural, but genuinely helpful. You start offering solutions. You should really schedule a meeting with your boss first thing tomorrow morning to establish clear boundaries, you say confidently, mapping out a strategy for her. Just learn to ignore those co-workers. They're clearly miserable people and not worth your precious energy. You know, why don't you start updating your resume tonight? I'll sit with you and help you look for a better job that appreciates you. You are trying to fix her problems, to be her hero, to slay the dragons of her bad day. But instead of the gratitude and relief you fully expect, you are met with a sudden wall of ice, a deeply frustrated sigh, and the absolutely crushing words, "You just don't get it, do you?" You're left standing there, completely baffled, hurt, and confused, thinking she just wanted to vent and that you somehow, inexplicably, failed a test you didn't even know you were taking. But what if I told you that her desire to just vent was something much, much deeper, more primal than that? What if every single time she shared a problem with you, she was subconsciously asking you a pivotal question that would help define your entire future together? A question designed by millennia of evolution to determine if you are a safe, stable, and reliable man. In this video, I'm going to reveal what that fundamental hidden question is and show you exactly how to answer it correctly, every single time, so that you build profound connection instead of profound confusion. Let's dive in. Section 1. The secret test. You don't know you're taking. You're left completely bewildered in the aftermath, believing with every fiber of your being that you were being a good, supportive partner. You saw a clear problem: stress, frustration, injustice, and like any good man, you offered a logical, actionable solution designed to eliminate the source of the pain. In the male world, this is the currency of care. This is how we often demonstrate competence and love. If your friend calls you and says his car broke down, you don't just say, "That's tough, man." You ask, "Where are you?" You look up mechanics on your phone, you help him figure out a tow truck, or you drop what you're doing and go give him a ride. If a colleague is stuck on a project, you might offer a fresh perspective or a piece of code to get him unstuck. We build bonds by solving problems together. But when this same helpful problem-solving approach backfires spectacularly with the woman in your life, it feels like you're speaking two completely different languages from opposite sides of a canyon. And the truth is, you are. What you interpret as a straightforward request for a solution is, in her world, a moment of profound vulnerability and a critical test of your connection. This is not just casual complaining or idle chatter about her day. When a woman shares her problems, she's opening a small window into her soul and observing very, very closely what you do with that vulnerability. Some evolutionary psychologists argue this is a deeply ingrained survival instinct. For millennia, a woman's survival, and more importantly, the survival of her offspring, depended on selecting a partner who was not just a provider of resources, but an emotional protector. A man who could hunt was valuable, but a man who would remain steady and supportive during the terror of a long winter, a famine, or an attack from a rival tribe was essential for her psychological well-being, which directly impacted her ability to nurture children. When she shares her stress, she is subconsciously gathering data to answer the single most important question for her long-term security. Are you an emotionally safe man? Understanding this reframe is like being handed a secret playbook for your relationship. It's the key that unlocks a level of trust and intimacy you've likely never experienced before, because you finally understand the real game you've been playing all along. Section 2. She's testing your capacity for empathy, not your ability to problem solve. The first and most critical test you must pass is the test of empathy. When a man hears a problem, his brain instinctively, and often immediately, shifts into fix-it mode. Your intention is noble. You want to ease her stress, remove the obstacle, and make her feel better as quickly as possible. The problem is, you're fundamentally misunderstanding her primary need in that moment. She isn't bringing you a broken machine to be fixed. She is bringing you a bruised piece of her heart to be held. She needs to process the feeling before she can even think about the solution. When she tells you, "You will not believe what Karen from accounting did today. She went behind my back and took credit for my project." Your instinct might be to jump in with, "You need to march into your boss's office first thing tomorrow and set the record straight." Or, "From now on, make sure you put everything in an email so there's a paper trail and she can't do that." To her, this is a failing response. You've completely skipped over her feelings of betrayal, anger, humiliation, and frustration. You've unintentionally sent the message that her emotions are an inconvenience to be solved away, a messy problem to be cleaned up. Even worse, you've subtly implied that you think she's incapable of solving it herself, as if the solution wasn't the first thing that popped into her own head. You've become a consultant, not a partner. The passing response is pure, unadulterated emotional validation. "Wow, she took credit for your work? After all the late hours you put into that? That's infuriating. I can't believe she would be so two-faced. That is so unfair. I'm so sorry you had to go through that today." This response contains zero solutions but offers 100% support. It joins her in the feeling, sits with her in the injustice of it all, and communicates a powerful underlying message. You are not alone in this feeling. Your anger is justified. I am here with you. Failing this test repeatedly creates a silence where connection used to be, as she'll eventually stop bringing you her heart for fear you'll just try to repair it like it's a household appliance, leaving her feeling both misunderstood and patronized. Section 3. She's gauging your emotional stability. The second and equally important test is for your emotional stability. She needs to know on a primal level if you are the rock in her storm or just another wave that will crash alongside her, adding to the chaos. When she presents you with her chaos, her anxiety, her fear, or her sadness, she is subconsciously watching to see if you can handle the emotional weight without breaking, cracking, or lashing out. Imagine yourself as an emotional container. Her intense feelings are like a flood of water, and she needs to know she can pour them into you and that you are strong enough to hold them without leaking or overflowing. If she says, "I'm so worried about our finances, I don't know how we'll manage this month with that unexpected car repair," and you respond with dismissal, "You're overreacting. It's not that bad. We'll be fine. Stop worrying." You've just told her her feelings are invalid. If you respond with defensiveness, "Are you saying I don't make enough money to take care of us? I'm doing the best I can." You've made her anxiety about you. And if you respond with reciprocal anxiety, "You're right, this is a total disaster. We're doomed. I have no idea what we're going to do." The container has just broken, and now you're both drowning. You've signaled that her distress is too much for you to handle, and she will learn that she must carry her anxieties completely alone, which is a lonely and terrifying place for her to be. The passing response is that of a strong, stable, unshakable container. "I hear that you're really worried about this. It sounds like it's weighing on you very heavily. Your feelings are completely valid and it makes sense to be concerned. Let's sit down and look at it together when you're ready. We're a team, and we will figure this out together." You don't catch her anxiety. You acknowledge it, you name it, and you remain calm and grounded. Your calm becomes her calm. This is what she truly means when she says she wants to feel safe. It's not just about physical protection from outside threats. It's about having a partner who can provide emotional protection from her own internal storms and the storms of the world. Section 4. It's not a test. It's an invitation into her world. While we've used the word test, an even more powerful and accurate way to see this is as an invitation. According to renowned relationship researcher Dr. John Gottman, these moments are bids for connection. A bid can be anything from a sigh, to a touch on the arm, to sharing a story. Think of her inner world as a private, sacred, closely guarded garden that very few people ever get to see. It's a place of immense beauty, with vibrant flowers of joy and quiet streams of peace, but also of profound vulnerability, with fragile blossoms of insecurity and shadowed corners of past hurts. When she shares a problem, especially a seemingly small or mundane one like, "I feel so bloated and unattractive today," she is standing at the gate of that garden, holding it slightly ajar and inviting you inside. This is an act of profound trust, a gesture that says, "I want to share this part of my world with you." This is the moment where many well-intentioned men stumble. We see the invitation, but our eyes are immediately drawn to a weed in the garden, the problem, and we immediately want to charge in and yank it out with a solution. "You're not bloated, you look great," or "maybe we should cut back on carbs." We fail to realize the point was never the weed. The point was being invited into the garden in the first place. If she's upset with a friend and you dismiss it, you two will sort it out, you always do. Or refuse to engage, "I really don't want to get involved in drama," you are effectively slamming the gate in her face. You've just told her, in no uncertain terms, that a part of her world is uninteresting, annoying, or unworthy of your time. The man who accepts the invitation responds differently. He hears, "I feel so bloated," and says, "That's a tough feeling. I'm sorry you're feeling that way today. Thanks for telling me." He hears her frustration with a friend and says, "Wow, that sounds really hurtful, especially coming from Sarah. I know how much that friendship means to you. What happened?" By doing this, you're not just listening, you're walking through the gate, looking around with gentle curiosity and saying, "I accept all of you, not just the easy, sunny parts. Your world is important to me, and I am honored to be invited into it." This is how true, lasting companionship is built, one accepted invitation at a time. Section 5. The power of validation over agreement. This concept is subtle, but is absolutely critical to grasp. She is not looking for your agreement, she is looking for your validation. These are two completely different things that men often confuse. Agreement means, "I see the situation the same way you do, your facts are correct." Validation means, "I see that you're feeling a certain way, and I accept that feeling as legitimate for you, even if I don't see the situation in the same way or agree with your conclusion." You do not have to agree with her interpretation of reality to validate her emotional experience of it. This is a common trap for logical men. If we don't agree with the premise, we instinctively argue the facts, which is one of the fastest ways to make a woman feel unheard, dismissed, and even crazy. If she says, "This whole house is a disaster, I can't live like this," your instinct might be to argue the facts. "What are you talking about? I just did the dishes and took out the trash an hour ago." This is a failing response because you are telling her her feeling is factually incorrect and therefore wrong or irrational. You've just made her the problem. The passing response separates objective reality from her subjective emotional experience. You say, "Whoa, it sounds like you feel completely overwhelmed right now. It really feels to you like everything is a disaster, doesn't it?" You use validating phrases like, "It sounds like you feel," or "I can understand why you would feel," or "It makes sense that you would feel that way given your day." You aren't agreeing that the house is objectively a disaster. You are validating that she feels that it is, and that her feeling of being overwhelmed is okay. This simple, powerful shift makes her feel sane and understood, instantly de-escalates the emotion, and opens a space where you can then work together as a team to address the actual issue, which is her feeling of being overwhelmed, not just the state of the house. Section 6. The ultimate audition, casting you as a life partner. Every single time she shares a problem and you respond, you are auditioning for the lead role of life partner. This isn't a cold, calculated process on her part. It's a deep subconscious evaluation where she is constantly collecting data to answer the fundamental question: is this the man I can build a life with? Can I count on him when things get hard, boring, or repetitive? Is he truly on my team? The empathy test, the stability test, your response to her invitations, they are all scenes in this grand ongoing audition. This is especially true for the small recurring complaints, the ones that are so easy to dismiss over time. Consider a simple complaint like, "I'm so tired." The first time, you might offer genuine empathy. The 10th time, you might jump to a solution like suggesting she go to bed earlier. But by the 50th time, you might respond with visible annoyance. "You say that every single day. We're all tired." This is a catastrophic failure in the audition. Your annoyance provides a crucial data point that tells her his compassion has a limit. He cannot handle the mundane, repetitive struggles of life. His support is conditional. And life, at its core, is full of recurring struggles. Your response to her daily fatigue is a trailer for how you will handle bigger, chronic challenges down the road, like a sick child that keeps you both up for months, a long-term financial strain, or the slow decline of aging parents. The man who aces the audition understands the recurring complaint is a continuous bid for connection. He consistently responds with a hug, saying, "I know you are. It sounds like another draining day. Come here." Or even better, he translates that empathy into a supportive action without being asked. "I can see the exhaustion on your face. Why don't you go put your feet up for a bit? I'll handle dinner tonight." This provides a very different and much more powerful data point. He is consistent. His comfort is not conditional. He is a reliable source of safety and comfort, even when it's boring. He's not just with me for the exciting parts, he's with me for the grind. This is the man who gets the part. Section 7. Your 3-step playbook for a perfect response. Now, let's make this intensely practical and simple. The next time she comes to you with a problem, from a minor annoyance about traffic to a major crisis at work, you can follow this simple 3-step method to build connection instead of conflict. First, validate the emotion. Your only job at the start is to be a mirror for her feelings. Put your phone down, turn to face her, and let her know you see them and accept them as valid. Use phrases like, "Wow, that sounds incredibly frustrating," or "I can see why you're so upset about that," or "It makes total sense that you're feeling so let down and disappointed." Don't rush this step. Allow for silence. Let your tone and body language, leaning in, making eye contact, nodding, show you are present with her. Second, ask a connecting question. After validating, prove you're genuinely curious and not just waiting for your turn to speak or rushing toward an exit. This pulls you deeper into her world and shows you want to understand, not just move on. Ask something like, "Tell me more about what happened right after that." Or, "What was the hardest part of that for you?" Or, "And how did that make you feel in that moment?" This step shows you value the details of her experience. Third, and only after you have fully completed the first 2 steps, you offer support, not solutions. You empower her by asking what she needs, which honors her autonomy and puts the control back in her hands. Memorize these 2 golden questions. What would be most helpful for you right now? And the ultimate key that unlocks everything. Do you want me to just listen and be here with you, or are you looking for advice? This single question is pure gold because you literally cannot lose. You are demonstrating your respect for her process and giving her exactly what she needs by allowing her to define it for you. The full sequence: validate, connect, and then ask if she wants listening or advice, is the cheat code to passing her test with flying colors every single time, making her feel seen, heard, and deeply, deeply connected to you. So, the next time the woman you love brings you the storm of her day, remember what is truly happening beneath the surface. She isn't just complaining about her boss or looking for a quick fix for her commute. She is extending a sacred invitation into her world and running a subconscious evaluation for the most important role in her life. She is asking, "Are you empathetic enough to sit with my feelings without trying to fix them? Are you stable enough to handle my storms without getting overwhelmed yourself? Can you validate my experience without needing to agree with it?" Ultimately, she is asking, "Are you a safe man for my heart?" For years, you may have been trying to pass her tests by showing how smart, capable, and competent you are at solving problems, but you were taking the wrong test. The exam was never about your ability to solve the problem. It was always about your ability to create a connection. This is a skill, And like any skill, you might get it wrong sometimes, especially at first. That's okay. The key is to catch yourself. Maybe even apologize for jumping into fix-it mode, and then try again. Mastering this is a relationship superpower. It will build a foundation of trust so deep and so resilient that she knows, without a single doubt in her heart, that you are her rock and her safe harbor. You are the man she can bring any part of her heart to, no matter how messy or broken, knowing that it will be met, not with a solution, but with unwavering, unconditional love.